In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the current conditions, diving into the upcoming pattern, as well as some upcoming severe weather. Let's just take a look here at our current radar imagery. First things first, and as you can see, we have some showery activity up here in the northwestern corner of the nation, as well as for kind of the north central United States as well. A little bit quieter here for the southwest than things have been, really, but that is what we're dealing with right now. Practically nothing right now. Probably will get more active a little bit later on this week. As we can see, for the northeast, there is quite a bit of showery activity happening up in this corner of the nation as well. We have some severe weather happening here for some of the Ohio Valley and kind of the upper Midwest region up here. We have some severe thunderstorm warnings coming in with that. And then we have our typical here tropical activity, tropical thunderstorm activity that is going on here in the deeper south. Now let's take a look first off at these showers up here in the northwest. And as you can see, some of these are a little bit heavier here, especially in the yellows. That's where we're dealing with the heavier activity there for Oregon, Idaho, California, northern Nevada. As we work our way to the northern plains, we can see it's a little lighter out here. We see lighter greens primarily up here for states like Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and even into Minnesota. Now, as we take a look here at our kind of Ohio Valley, upper Midwest region, we can see that there is quite a bit of this severe weather activity happening in this pocket here, especially across central Illinois. We're just seeing these strong thunderstorms roll through. We saw one round of it a little bit earlier on, a second round of it after that, and now we're seeing our third round of thunderstorms roll through this morning. Absolutely stormy morning there for Illinois. We have a lot of flood warnings as well, so we're going to be on the lookout for those potential impacts. This is one of the stormiest days we've seen in a while here for the Gulf of Mexico. Thunderstorms are everywhere today, as you can see, especially there in southern portions of these states. I mean, these are just sitting around. They're not really moving too much. They're just hanging out, and this is really, really impactful and really dangerous, obviously, when we see these storms just sitting over one spot like this. So we're going to want to really pay attention because flash flooding is going to be a huge possibility. Not only flash flooding, but in general, just flooding is going to be possible for a lot of different regions. Now, we had some sort of funnel cloud here over the Tampa Bay area this morning. As you can see, probably a water spout. We've had some thunderstorms offshore of both the east coast and the west coast here of Florida. So this has been a common thing that's been going on for quite a while. We can see here for areas here in the more northern portions of these states are seeing some thunderstorms and showers, but not quite as much as those southern regions. And then here for the northeast, we can see that there is some showery activity moving across the New England states this morning, but those are probably going to dissipate a little bit later on. All right, now what we're going to do here is we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at our upcoming pattern, the storminess, also some tropical concerns for the west coast of the United States. We'll have to take a look at that a little bit later on, and also some severe weather. All right, now here's the upcoming pattern. Let's just move it towards this afternoon. We can see a lot of storminess still down here for the deeper south. We can also see the west is going to pick up in activity a little bit later on, and we can also see for the northeast here, we're seeing a bit of activity there. Kind of the upper Midwest through the northeast is where we're seeing primarily a lot of that activity. Now, as we move towards this is going to be Wednesday kind of afternoon time frame here. We can see that for the Ohio Valley and the upper Midwest, we see some activity again. Also, the deeper south, seeing some of this thunderstorm activity continue, and then a little bit of activity here in the four corner states and surrounding states. That's by Wednesday, August 3rd. Thursday, August 4th here, we can see we're kind of in this type of a jet stream pattern. Obviously, a huge ridge in the United States as a whole. That's what we've been stuck in for a long time in general. The Southwest seeing some activity, but mostly the eastern United States is where a lot of this activity is going to reside at this point. As we can see, by the time we're reaching Friday, this is going to be August 5th, we see that there is quite a lot of activity happening in here for the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, the Southeast, and even the deeper South here. We're just seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity, but it is much, much quieter out west here, as you can see. By Saturday, this is going to be August 6th, we see tons of activity happening underneath here. First off, we have 987 millibar low pressure center here with a cold front extending down like this. We see some storminess out ahead of it where we have a big ridge, so this storminess is probably heading up the coast, but this cold front is going to lead towards some impacts, especially as we reach Sunday the 7th here. We can see it stretching down like this, so some cooler air behind it can be expected. what we see is a lot of warm air along the coast, and what this does is it causes the cold front to stall out, and it causes a lot of storminess along the eastern United States. As you can see, there's a lot of persistent storminess throughout all of these regions in here. A lot of storminess, really. Monday, the 8th here, we see some storminess, but not quite as much here in the eastern United States. Tuesday, we see some of this Four Corner States activity start back up again, but we're still just seeing some moderate activity here in the eastern United States. That's August 9th. Now, Wednesday, August 10th here, we have a 994 millibar low pressure center up here, and what looks like a bit of a cold front here to me, bringing primarily storminess here to the eastern United States and cooler air in general. We'll see that in a minute, but really we're seeing a lot of storminess here in this region in general. And even by Thursday, August 11th, we see that this low is up here and probably a cold front is extending like this. So just offshore at this point and onshore for a little bit of the southeast as well. But a big time trough in the eastern United States. We'll have to see how that looks on the upcoming temperature pattern. First things first, though, let's take a look at the total precipitation through the next 10 days. If you're anywhere in the whites, we're expecting practically no precipitation. Your greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. Your reds will be 2 to 5 inches. And then your browns will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. We can see that we're still stuck in a pattern where the eastern half of the nation is seeing a majority of this precipitation at this point. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern, and then we'll take a look at the tropics and eventually the severe weather. Here we are taking a look at the temperature pattern, and first things first, we're taking a look at day 1, which will be Tuesday, August 2nd, or today from the time I'm making this video. We see a lot of cooler air here for the Four Corner States and some of the surrounding southwestern states. We see here for the deeper south and through the Ohio Valley and the interior eastern United States. We're seeing a lot of this activity in there. And then a lot of warmth in between is really primarily what we're taking a look at, as well as the eastern United States. Now, by the time we take a look at Wednesday, August 3rd here, we can see that there is a lot of activity. First off, a lot of warmth here in the central United States. We see some neutral temperatures here along the eastern and the western United States, but a lot of warmth there for the central regions. Now, Thursday, we see things warming up out west in general. And also for the northeast, and really this cooler air is dissipating a little bit, so that's becoming less of a factor here. We'll have to see how that plays out. Now, Friday, August 5th, we see again the central United States dealing primarily with this warmth. Some cooler air spreading for the west. Saturday, August 6th, we see some cooler air, especially in this region. Things for the central United States, though, and the eastern United States are primarily warming at this point. August 7th, this is going to be Sunday. We see a lot of warmth in here, so just like this, and then also up here for the northwestern United States. Monday, August 8th, things are warming up out west. We're waiting for this trough to head into the east. We're waiting to see that. Tuesday, August 9th here, we see this building up here. This could be this trough that's going to head down just like that. Let's wait and see. Yeah, because by Wednesday, August 10th here, we have some neutral or cooler air spreading throughout here, so it's not too potent yet. Oh, yeah, there it is. Thursday, August 11th. Look at that. A lot of cooler air here for the eastern United States as a whole. This is going to be a much appreciated relief from the heat, I'm sure. That's kind of where we end the model run, so it's hard to say where things are going to go from here, but we have some pretty decently below normal temperatures heading to the east at the end of this model run due to that cold front, so we really need to watch that closely. That does bring a pretty strong trough, and this could bring some fall-like temperatures, so we'll be watching for that later on as we approach kind of the August 10th time frame. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at a tropical update real quickly. Now, here's what we're taking a look at. Tropical Storm Frank at this point in the Pacific Ocean is expected to curve towards California. We're watching this closely. There is the possibility that as a tropical depression, this could impact the west coast of the United States, which is incredibly rare. As we can see, by the time we're reaching about Thursday time frame, this is going to be closing in, getting closer to the west coast. Right now, it has 45 mile per hour maximum sustained winds. It's moving northwest at 10 miles per hour, and it is a tropical storm at this point, but it's expected to downgrade basically to a post-tropical depression. So we're gonna watch that closely. It probably will not be tropical anymore, but it is going to be strong enough to be considered potentially, tropical depression strength or tropical storm strength, something along those lines. Now, let's take a look at the spaghetti bottle guidance real quickly. And it's hard to see because this purple one goes crazy and takes it all the way across Canada and the northern United States. But we do see that, if you were to draw a cone of where these models take it, it's something like this, okay? And it does approach the west coast. Now, there is a few of these that definitely curve it out like this and then just take it back, do something like this with the track. But there's definitely a few of these that take this towards Northern California. That would be something else, guys. We really need to track this closely, as this is going to be a close call either way, a nail biter for sure, getting very, very close to the west coast in a very unusual track here for a tropical cyclone. Definitely something to watch as we get closer to this storm making potential impact. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center for that severe weather update. Here's the day one categorical outlook. We have 2 general thunderstorm risk areas there in the lighter green regions. That's where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. We have 3 marginal risk areas in those darker greens, and that's where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. We have our yellow region up there for North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and that is where we expect scattered severe weather to take place today on Tuesday, August 8th. Now, for day 2 here, we have 1 general thunderstorm risk area there in the lighter green, 1 marginal risk area there in the darker green, and then 1 yellow region up there for Michigan where we expect scattered severe weather there in that slight risk region. That's all for Wednesday, August 3rd. Now, for day 3, which will be August 4th, we have 2 general thunderstorm risk areas in the lighter greens. And again, that's where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. And also, we've usually seen these upgrade to at least a marginal risk, so upgrades are also possible, especially there for this day 3. We have enough days in between where there's definitely a good chance of an upgrade happening at a certain point. Anyway, for today's for today's confidence tab, I don't know why I just skipped over that like that. For today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. Really, we're waiting until we have any sort of confidence in this tropical cyclone now for the western United States. Potentially, we might even get some East Coast threats eventually later on in the pattern with the Atlantic Ocean. So we'll have to be watching for those things. But until there's a certain weather event that is the primary event happening that really has high confidence, I'm really just staying more medium with it here. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Craich, James Wade, Dovin Eagle, Larry Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donald Carnes as well. I'd also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codelessa Capite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Colisi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Capite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.